is Isabella from I Am Every Girl.
And I'm Julia Dennis from I Am Every Girl.
And this is Emily from the Cliffs.
How did you become interested in climbing?
This story I tell people, I've only told like maybe 5 people because it's super embarrassing. But so I went outside, and then when I was in middle school at the time, I was naturally kind of good at it, and so the people who were running the program told me that I should get into this, and I said okay, but then I didn't really give it much thought. And then people from our climbing gym in the town that I lived in came to speak to our middle school about it, and they kept saying, they kept talking about how there was a climbing wall on the back of the mountaineering store downtown. And in my head, I thought that that meant that there were like pegs on the outside of the building that you just kind of like ladder your way up. And I was so shocked when I walked into the store and saw something like this. And, you know, I was pretty instantly hooked to it. And I'm very competitive, and it's an individualized sport, and it just like, I took to it really well.
Where did you first climb?
Estes Park, Colorado. It's where Rocky Mountain National Park is. It's a very small town in Colorado. But yeah.
Who is your role model and why?
Ooh, my current one. I'm gonna keep it in the climbing community, and I'm gonna say that my favorite climber is Emily Harrington. She is the most versatile rock climber I know. She grew up with me, actually. She's a little bit younger than me, and she was on my climbing team when I was a kid. But since becoming a professional athlete, she has climbed Mount Everest. She's gotten into ice climbing. She still competes in rock climbing, in pretty much every form of the sport, and it's really great to see. And she's super humble, really cool woman. I like her a lot.
I'm writing all this down.
So when did you first become interested in climbing?
Ooh, when I was 15, I was doing a volunteer project, or I was working for a group that we did like volunteer work all week, and then they would take us to do something fun on Fridays. And they took us rock climbing because I grew up in Colorado, and that's just what you do. So I got interested in it then, and started competing pretty quickly after. But and I went to a lot of national and world competitions when I was younger, and now I get to coach kids who do the same thing. So it's cool. Yeah, and then I started actually climbing that next fall, or that next like summer or spring or something, and then I started competing pretty quickly after that.
Okay, do you prefer indoor or outdoor climbing?
Oh, outdoor, 100%.
Okay. Did you ever have like other hopes or dreams?
Yeah. So when I was your age, actually your age, I wanted to be a jockey because I was really, really small, and my family is all pretty short, and I was convinced that I was never going to reach 5 feet, and I really liked horses, and I was like, I should just race horses, that would be great. So I would practice all the time. But then I got a horse, and I showed my horse, and I did all the things, but I was terrified of horses. And I pretended for a really long time that I wasn't terrified of horses, and then I was really happy when I discovered rock climbing. But yeah, I really used to want to be a jockey forever. That was like when people ask you what you want to be when you grow up. When I was little, I always wanted to be a jockey. Yeah.
Why is climbing good for people?
Ooh, climbing is really great for people because of a lot of reasons. I really enjoy the personal struggle in climbing. When you're actually climbing, it's really great because it's really just about you and you dealing with your inner struggle and like deciding that you want to do something, and it's just like you against the climb, as opposed to other sports where you have an actual opponent. But I think that climbing really pushes comfort zones a lot, and no matter what that comfort zone is, and you get to kind of help yourself get over that. It's also great for any like ability and any body type, and you know, it's a whole lot of fun. I could call it exercise in disguise, because it's just like having fun, but your entire body gets worked. So it is, but it's in disguise.
But I love climbing, I hate exercise.
Yeah.
Why do you love climbing?
I love climbing because I love the way that it feels. And that's kind of weird to say, I guess. But to me, it's a very fluid thing. It feels a lot like dancing. And I just love the movement of it. And I love that it's challenging for me and I get to push myself individually. But yeah, it's something that I've been doing for so long that it's the most natural form of movement I have. Like, I'm better at climbing than walking, which is kind of funny. But yeah, I love everything about it. The community is really great. It's a lifestyle sport, which means you can do it your entire life, and you can be in this environment or you can be outside enjoying it, like in whatever capacity you like. So, but I really just like the way that my body feels when I'm doing it. Yeah.
What inspires you?
I get really inspired by other people who work hard and by smiling and laughter.
What is your favorite heroine in real life?
Heroin is hard. I don't know somebody who's like had to overcome oppression and stuff. I would pick Michelle Obama. I really like her. I also really like Eleanor Roosevelt. But they're not necessarily heroines.
Well, that's considered a heroine.
Okay, we'll go with that. But Mulan, I'd like to go back to Mulan. I love her.
Who is Mulan?
Is she like Chinese? Yeah.
Yeah, and her father was being drafted into the military and he was injured, and so it was like men only, and so she cut her hair and pretended to be a man and went and fought for the Imperial Army.
I've actually heard that story before. It's in real life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, then great. Mulan. I win. Yeah.
Okay, what do you do during your childhood?
Ooh, like every day?
Yeah, just like anything.
Oh my goodness. I did ride horses a lot. I had a horse, and I rock climbed.
Or like trips or something.
What's that?
Like or like trips that you went on that you liked or something, or like anything.
Well, so I traveled a lot as a kid because my parents were divorced and my entire family lives in Louisiana and I lived in Colorado. So I would always be flying back and forth to there. And then we'd go to the beach a lot. One of the things that I really loved though from my childhood is that my dad used to take his two daughters to Houston Astros games, baseball games, and we had to drive 5 hours to go there, and we hated it, but it created this like nostalgia in me for like being in ballparks, and now like I really love baseball, and I loved like being in the ballpark with him and seeing baseball games and doing that with I've always felt really cool because my dad wanted to take me to a baseball game and I was a girl, so I always liked that.
What quality do you admire most in a woman?
Passion and bravery, yeah. I also like it when women like stand up for themselves and have a lot of gumption and like, yeah, and can put men in their places. I like that a lot. Yeah.
I don't really like to say this question, but like,
should I be nervous?
How often do like women climb? Like my mom's age,
right?
Women,
wait, how often do they
climb?
Oh, a
like,
lot. Oh, so much. A lot. Like you can, that's the great thing about climbing. You can start it at any age. There's so many different like ratings of climbs, and it starts from the very, very novice up to the elite. So anybody can do it and anybody can try it. So, but we get a lot of people who come in for the first time every single day. So.
This is the question that you thought of, but I'm changing it.
Oh. Okay.
On Fridays, what do you do when you come home from climbing?
Ooh, can we have Saturday instead?
Like, it's the entire weekend.
Entire weekend. Oh, okay, great.
After
what do I do on
climbing.
the weekends? Okay.
No, like after you climbing and...
Well, so a lot of times my weekends are spent going to competitions, but when I don't have to do that for work, I actually joined 2 softball teams this year. So on Saturdays I play in Central Park, and then I go out with my team afterwards. And on Sundays I brunch hard. I really like brunching. And I just moved to the city, so I'm just like blown away by all of the good food that's here. I moved here from a really small town in Delaware, so it's really exciting to just like run around the city whenever I get the chance. I grew up in Colorado. I moved to Delaware 10 years ago, and I just moved here in August, so almost a full year.
Why is climbing good for girls, like emotionally or like physically?
I think it's great for girls emotionally and physically because I think that a lot of girls surprise themselves with how strong they are. And climbing is one of those things that has this great ability to make you feel really strong. And having that kind of success when you have to talk yourself through something the entire way up is really important. And it changed the way that I was as a kid, and it definitely changed the way that I am as an adult. So I really like that about it. Yeah.
Have you seen an increase in the amount of girls climbing like within this year or?
Yeah,
whatever?
actually, yeah. Our current climbing team has more females on it than male. Our varsity team. And I'll tell you a little secret. Girls are a lot better at climbing than boys. Technically speaking, girls are way better than boys are. Boys have a bit more strength, but if a girl can get stronger,
Born with
she's...
1/3 more like
Yeah,
muscle.
and like boys, they're supposed to look stronger, but like girls have so much strength inside like this.
I know, and we have so much finesse.
So, is there like one person that you've seen like grow a lot in climbing that you admire, or like just anyone?
Yeah, there's this girl, her name is Margot Hayes. She's a bit younger, but she recently just climbed 515A or B, I believe. She just climbed one of the hardest climbs in the world, and she's really young and super dedicated, and I've known her since she was your age, and I've kind of watched her grow up. She's from Colorado, and I've watched her progress into a professional climber, and it's been amazing. But there's a documentary about her that you should check out. It's really, really good, and it's really cool to see how dedicated she is to her goals. She would be a great person for you guys to talk to, actually.
This is about us. What are 3 things that you have learned from kids?
Ooh.
3, it has to be 3, no more, no less.
Okay. First, I have learned to not take life so seriously. Second, I have learned patience. And third, I learned how to do the muffin.
The muffin?
You don't know the muffin?
I don't know the muffin.
You know the muffin. This is the muffin.
Oh, the pickle.
It's the muffin!
It's the pickle.
I learned how to do the muffin. It took me
on the pickle.
a month and a half to learn that, by the way.
I still don't know. Someone tried to teach me in August.
It took me like 2 days
Yep.
just to do it. It's
Well, I'm
just,
old. It takes a little longer.
I can't really do it. Shit.
How do you feel about climbing?
How do I feel about
Like,
it?
what are your thoughts and stuff?
It's just me. It's like who I am. I love it. Like I love everything about it. I can't imagine not being a climber. Yeah.